So, what you're trying to say is that you fell here from another world? But when you wanted to leave and go on to the next world, your path was blocked by some unknown god?
Outlanders, your journey ends here. Who are you? The sustainer of heavenly principles. The arrogation of mankind ends now.
Hello everyone, and welcome to 5 Stars Only. This is a challenge I've been wanting to do for a while. It's quite tough in the early game, but can evolve into a really interesting one as the 5 stars come home. Please note, I am recording all this audio while editing, so if I repeat my points or the audio and gameplay don't match, I apologize. I'm new to these recording softwares.
We'll try to move it as much as the mouse and in the background as possible, however I can't guarantee all of it will be gone.
Once this cutscene ends and we can play the game, I will go over all of the rules. Alright, now that cutscene is over with, while past me goes to collect the chest on the little island, let's go over the rules.
Ooh, can't forget the crab. Okay, now the rules. Please note, my rules will differ from other popular content creators, as I find the interest in challenge accounts comes from the combat and other in-game content, plus the ability to build characters I've never tried. Xiangling cannot hold me hostage anymore. If you have any queries about the rules, please feel free to comment. Now, Rule 1. Only units classified as 5 stars are allowed to be used in combat and open world. This does include the Traveler and Aloy, otherwise I would have to re-roll the account. If a puzzle is required to progress for a main story quest, aka Archon quests, any character may be used to complete it, example elemental puzzles. This is done to prevent progress roadblocks, like many other YouTubers have had in the Leeway and Inazuman Archon quests. For the time being, the account will be strictly free-to-play. Any Genesis crystals obtained via outside methods will be used for cosmetics or left untouched. This may change in the future, however. Rule 4. Co-op partners must also only use 5-star characters. However, to prevent abusing the system, I must prove I can beat the domain required alone with my characters. This means long grinds won't be as long, such as AR-45's artifact grinding, which I am dreading. Also, to prevent this video being over an hour and a half long, I will be cutting through the beginning of the Archon quest. I've only done Act 1, so it's a shocker that the recording is an hour and a half long. It still surprises me how long some Archon quests are. Cough Sumeru. Before long, we arrive at the cliff overlooking Starfell Lake and the city of Anemo, Mondstadt, aka the first stop on our journey. Swimming across the lake, we arrive at our first statue of the Seven, and we obtain our first element, Anemo. And after Ether shows off his new Anemo powers to Paimon by windblading and blowing away some pyro slimes,
Disappear!
we catch our first glimpse of Devalin.
Wow, what is that?
I just said what it was, Paimon. We then get our first look at the Anemo Archon, Basabedo, aka Venti. We then proceed to almost jump scare his pet dragon into killing him. Sorry, Venti, that's my bad. Ooh, nice dodge though.
Who's there?
After picking up a strange red crystal, which is a surprise to will help us later, and after the newest unusable character shows up and proceeds to break every rule in the Knights of Favonius handbook, no seriously, go check it, she says all the language you're not supposed to say.
And this mascot, what's the deal with...
This next section up here, however, you do need to fire a shot on Amber. It's unavoidable. A lot of people have tried many things. If you're curious on a way that some people have managed to break the scene, then go check out Java the Cup's first Swords Only video. Please ignore me failing to navigate the menu. We then took a
recently.
quick detour to help Amber clear
My
out a hilly
task
trail
this
camp.
time is to
And
clear
by
out their
help
camp.
Amber, I mean we do all the work. Then after a brisk walk, we arrive in Mondstadt.
Want to give
Then
you
after
a
talking
wind
to Amber,
glider.
we'd walk up to the Venti statue
Outriders
and
use
take the
vibrators.
gliding exam,
Yeah, well, that's
deciding
because-
to ignore the gliding part and just teleport down.
I'm
We
preventing your
then
fall
perform
with the
the
power
first
of 1,000
Dvalen
winds.
fight and meet useless character number 2. We then glide our way over to the Knights of Favonius headquarters
Seems to
and
be the
meet
Knights of
Lisa, who is also not usable, as well as Jean, who is our first character to show up in the story that we can actually use.
Jean,
Not like we're gonna
what's
get
the
her.
hurry? I thought we agreed to meet them here.
Also, it
There have
surprises
been
me that they
sightings of
already
storm
know about
terror
our
outside the
presence.
city.
We've
Once
only
we
been
meet,
in
we must-
Mondstadt for, I'd give,
Relax.
20
I'll lend a
minutes.
hand when the time
They have a
comes.
really good
They're
intelligence
located
agency.
in Storm
Our objective.
Then,
I trust
after
everyone
agreeing to help
understands.
the Knights of Favonius deal with the Storm Terror issue,
Knights
we
of
unlock,
Favonius, the storm
wait
is
for it,
rampant. All right.
the thing that makes this account usable and not just traveler only. Not that. But that. Okay, you don't need to show me this. Or this. Okay. It's enough. Past me was very excited to gamble. Then after claiming the free 10 pull in the mail for both limited and standard, as well as some other free pulls here and there, I started to do my pulls. Unfortunately, I got nothing, so for the time being this account is going to remain traveler only. However, I did do pulls on specific banners. I did the original limited 10 pull I got from the mail on Child's banner. However, I very quickly realized the Child's banner was a mistake because it was the Chronicled Wish, and the Chronicled Wish's pity doesn't count over to other limited banners. Wouldn't be able to carry over that pity into other patches. I then decided to continue pulling on Alakino's banner and standard banner, getting only weapons, might I add. I did not pull a single 4-star character. I'm not complaining, I can't use them. After the horrible situation of the wishes, I decided to just continue on with the story. Before I continued on with the story, though, I did go into Ether and give him the flute, which I pulled from Chronicled Wish, as well as give him some artifacts I'd managed to grab along the way. Logically, first stop is Amber's Temple. It is the closest to Mondstadt. After that, I would go to Kyra and Lisa's temple in whichever order I decided in, and grab animalculae and chests I would find along the way. While past me goes over Amber's temple, I would like to talk about the rule regarding the Archon quests. Because we have access to Animo Traveler, it means that a lot of the puzzles are actually possible, including one that's about to come up here. If it is possible to clear any puzzles in the domain with the required characters that I already have access to, that will be done instead. However, even if I have to use trial characters in domains to clear elemental puzzles, I will not use them in combat sections. This is just to make sure that the only parts I am gaining outside assistance from are the elemental puzzles. As you saw before, the vines that block the doorways in Amber's Temple are actually possible to be jumped over. A well-timed sprint jump clears them quite easily. Although, granted, I'm not very good at it, as I haven't had much experience, I do screw up quite a couple. If you've watched other videos, you might know that you can actually skip most of this domain by climbing the rocks off to the side, and then climbing over and gliding straight over to the ending section, creating a sort of skip. However, it's unnecessary, and I have zero experience doing it, so I'd rather do the way that I know will work and is a lot easier. Amber is not needed for the following section either, as the elemental puzzle is completable without her. Animo Traveler has a well-known usage where being applied by an element allows your held skill to gain that element. Thus, we can stand on the campfires at the back of the room to apply Pyro on ourselves and gain budget Pyro Traveler. This lets us complete the domain in record time.
This a pyro monument? If we hit it with
Paimon, why'd you interrupt yourself? Once we finish Amber's Temple, my next course of action was to head over to the Statue of the Seven and Windrise. On the way, I was going to collect the Animalculus, but I kind of forgot to grab the ones outside of Amber's Temple, so I had to double back. I grabbed all of the ones around the Statue of the Seven and Windrise, as well as the ones by Amber's Temple, before continuing.
You've arrived. Come closer. Can you smell that? Something must have. I imagine.
After a long journey, we finally arrive at Kaya's
No
temple.
one makes. We need to clear out the
It
temples.
wasn't that difficult. I effectively ran straight over from Amber's temple. I did grab a couple animalculus along the way, and like I mentioned, I stopped by at Windrise. Next up is Kaya's temple. I unintentionally did these in order of easiest to hardest, however I'll get to Lisa's temple in a minute. Kaya's temple is easy, only having two relatively difficult sections. One contains some flamethrowers normally turned off temporarily with cryo. This is not needed though, as a well-timed dash can iframe the fire. The only other difficult section is the part where you normally ice bridge over using Kaya's skill. However, as most people know, you can sprint jump over it as long as you glide the last section. I did fail like 6 times before making both jumps.
Did you know?
At the end of Kaya's domain, D-Luke helps Kaya defeat the Abyss Mage, unwillingly. D-Luke is actually a character I really hope to pull on this account because I have not been able to build him on any other account. On Claymores only, I only very recently got him during the guaranteed in September for Genshin's anniversary, and on my main I've been prioritizing other characters and I wanted to wait until I pulled Shanyon to build him. After Kaya's temple, the next stop was blatantly Lisa's temple. However, I did take a while dawdling as I ran around the area towards Lisa's domain and grabbed animalculus and completed puzzles. There was one puzzle I did want to talk about as it took me a while to complete. This puzzle here is quite difficult, because normally with Amber you're allowed to charged attack all of the pillars and get the chest immediately. However, I cannot use Amber. The best way that I found to do this was to get a nearby explosive barrel on the beach to light me on fire, and then use the held skill to keep the ground on fire to keep a pyro on the traveler. I would then use the held skill on the different pillars to trigger them. However, I had to be very careful with timing, because elemental application doesn't last that long, so I found that I was having to run around and place down little pockets of fire to keep the pyro active whenever I got scared that it was about to run out. I also almost died, as you can see. I was left on 45 HP. After teleporting to the Statue of the Seven to heal up, I run down the beach as there's a couple chests I know of down in that location, and then proceed to climb the cliff. I forgot about the wind current you earn by leveling the Animo statue once, which gives you access to an Animalculus and also easier access to Lisa's temple. Probably should have remembered to do that. Now we get to the horrors of Lisa's temple. So, initially, I expected this not to take very long, as you can skip the domain easily by sprint jumping off the first wind current and flying around to the edge.
I knew it.
Little did I know that I would be stuck in Lisa's domain for 30 minutes. It might have been a skill issue, I'm not gonna lie. This next section here is sped up 10 times. You can also see in the footage that I had to be revived twice by the Door of Resurrection. Please don't make fun of me in the comments. I even tried to make it easier by landing on the platform to the side that's invisible. Didn't change anything.
Break it, and we can head home and relax. The thought of putting my feet up and relaxing has me all fired up. Dragon of the East.
It's on you. It's good, hun. This might you can try.
After doing all of that, I left Lisa's temple and decided to just customize the profile and run around for a bit. After putting my name cards in and the traveler into the showcase, I grabbed the Animalculus near the domain that I forgot to grab beforehand, and then ran around completing Adventure Handbook quests.
Welcome to the...
You've had your eye on it.
Oh, that is not what's gift for...
Let's go.
I made sure to grab my Adventure Rank rewards.
wants.
Without further, here is your adventure handbook.
Then teleporting to the Statue of the Seven and Windrise to upgrade it to level 4.
They can be fitted in. Some stories say that.
I'd already completed Chapter 1 earlier, as I'd beaten the Cryo Abyss Mage on the way to Kaya's temple. Next, I just needed to cook some food for Chapter 2. Continued to make some chicken mushroom skewers, which I got the ingredients for from the quest with the adventurer outside of Mondstadt City. Then I just had to do 3 layer lines. I did these in Mondstadt because they're the only nation I have.
With the wind!
For the last part, I just needed to collect 2 chests. I just ran somewhere in the world and looked around for a bit until I found 2 common chests. Exploration, I decided the best location was to teleport to Lisa's domain and head down towards Daropa Gorge, because I remembered that there was a chest right next to a teleport waypoint. Also, there was some animalculus along the way I grabbed. I did forget to upgrade the Statue of the Seven, so I'll do that when I log on next. Finally, after spending all of the Primo Gems and wishes I got today on the banners and getting nothing, I decided to end it there for the day, as it was incredibly late at night and I wanted to have everything ready to start editing today. I didn't even get a 4-star. So, anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.